back with a quick soap opera diagnosis for the week. We're going to talk Bold and the Beautiful and their killing off of Finn first, and then, pay some respects for some soap legends that passed away, both in England and in America recently. But back to Bold and the Beautiful. It's been the talk of Twitter that Bold and the Beautiful's big twist, and it's not even a twist, and they hyped it up so ridiculous as it was like something that never happened before in soap operas. And then it's something that has happened several times dating back to the 60s. But anyway, they killed off Finn, Sheila, his mother, the one responsible for his death, because she's trying to kill Steffi, but he gets in the way and she shoots him instead. And of course there's outrage to this. Now look, Finn isn't this great character, let's be honest. But I get the outrage because the Finn and Steffi couple does work. And if they're really using this to go back to the love triangle from hell, then it would be an epic fail, to say the least. But my biggest gripe with the story is, of course, the writing, because Bradley Bell sucks ass. I feel like, and this is a problem on all the American soap operas, but this story, look, it started well. I enjoyed the start of the story, but it got repetitive and lasted for over 3 months, and there was no twists and turns along the way until you get to the end here, where it just accelerates from 0 to 100, and Sheila's killing her son for ridiculous, stupid reasons. Like, I get that Sheila's been a cartoon villain for like 2 decades now, and that she was a much better villain in the 90s. But the reasoning they've given her for this, where she's just falling apart and wants to kill Steffi going from 0 to 100, is this: all she did was change Brooke's champagne bottle from non-alcoholic to alcoholic. That's all she did. That is not even this big crime at all, like some lower card, I'm talking like wrestling, but some lower card villains over the years, who not even villains, they're really just like bitchy characters, would do similar shit all the time. So I don't understand how Sheila's supposed to be this big bad villain, and all she did was turn a non-alcoholic champagne label and for a real alcohol drink. And it's not like Brooke is this big alcoholic either, for one. But anyway, that's all she did, and this translates to her, like, this can't come out. This information really can't come out, so that she has to want to kill Steffi and then ends up killing her son. So that's just the weak foundation for the story, and it comes down to weak writing, per usual on American soaps. So yeah, Sheila just looks really bad, and this is the worst thing she's ever done for her being this cartoon villain for so long. And if they really go back to the Liam, Hope, Steffi triangle, then the show just deserves to be gone, because that triangle is the reason that Bold and the Beautiful was the absolute worst soap opera of the 2010s. It was because of that triangle, and how Liam is supposed to be this great guy, and somehow this dweeb has 2 women fighting for him and basically begging for him like he's some great catch. It's just ridiculous. So going back to that triangle won't be good, to say the least. So I 100% understand why Steffi and Finn fans are so upset by this death. Now, they did kind of leave it open-ended because Lee's dialogue has been odd. She's been talking like he's still alive. So I guess there is that open-ended that Finn could return in the future and be alive, and like Lee is the one that ended up keeping him alive and keeping him somewhere, I guess, his adoptive mother. So that would work in the future if they want to wiggle their way out of this. But all around, this was a fail. It's not even a twist. because a twist would actually mean something that would surprise the audience, or that the audience wouldn't see coming, and yet this was none of that. Because the Bold and the Beautiful audience should not be surprised by shitty writing. We'll see where the show goes from here. I mean, I don't expect Bold to be very high in my rankings. That should be no surprise. Alright, let's get to some legends who died in real life. We're going to start with EastEnders. June Brown passed away last week. She played Dot Cotton on EastEnders from the very beginning. She was on the show, the chain-smoking, mostly comedy character for a long time, but she was a big part of the heart of EastEnders. So, yeah. She was like a big part of EastEnders. She was there from the beginning. Big character. They kind of like written her off in 2020, but they didn't even give her an ending. They gave Dot like this non-ending on the show, which honestly wasn't the worst thing, because you all know how I feel about John Sen, and his producing for EastEnders has been terrible. So I could only imagine the bad death they would have gave her if that's what they would have went for. So I'm pretty glad that Dot got a non-ending, and that at this point the character is kind of still alive. But I'm sure maybe the show will have Dot die off screen, of course, and then they could do something about it. Another matriarch of a show passed away. This one from the late great soap opera As the World Turns. Kathryn Hayes passed away, I think just a few days ago. She, of course, played Kim on As the World Turns forever. She was the matriarch of that show. So another rough death in the soap opera community for the matriarchs of these soap operas, EastEnders and As the World Turns. I just wanted to pay my respects to soap opera legends of the past. I mean, that's basically all I got today. Don't really want to talk about the other soap operas right now. All I will say is that the American soap operas, all four of them, continue to be the absolute worst of the worst right now in 2022. They all had some good ideas during quarantine and came back pretty well. Not Young and the Restless. Young and the Restless was boring in 2021. But General Hospital Days and Bold and the Beautiful improved themselves in 2021, in my opinion. But right now, in 2022, they might all be unwatchable.